this familiar setup, let's take our seats. Let's place a hand over the navel and a hand over the heart. Take a deep breath, close the eyes, and set an intention for this practice to be present, feeling the sensations in the body. Let's begin with our breath work. Today we're going to be doing Brahmari, the buzzing bee breath or humming bee breath. Start by making hands like this, placing the pointer finger and middle finger over the eyes gently, not applying any pressure to the eyes. The bottom two fingers, ring and pinky, go over the mouth. The thumbs plug the ears. Then begin with an inhale, and on the exhale, hum through the closed mouth. I'll show you one first, and then we can do three together. That's a short one to show you. Now we'll do three at our own pace. Inhale. Here's our second one. Inhale. Inhale for our third one. And bring the hands down. Let's do some eye movements, sweeping the eyes up without moving the head, and bring them back down, looking towards the ground. Up and down. One more time, up and down. Looking left to right, left, right, back to the left, and back to the right. Now we'll go up and in circles. Bring the eyes up and bring them around the clock, going clockwise. When you reach the top, we'll go around one more time. When you reach the top again, let's do two going in the counterclockwise direction. Remember to breathe. Now bring the hands together and rub them together for warmth. Place the hands in a cupping shape over the eyes. Placing no pressure on the eyes, just creating some warmth for the eyes to bathe in. And breathe. Let's begin our warm-up. Start with neck. Bring the hands in basket shape. Place on the back of the head and stretch the back of the neck. Bring the chin diagonally, reposition the hands slightly, and stretch. Diagonally the other direction, and stretch. Come back to center, and leaving the arms where they are, we'll do our side stretches. Bringing the left arm up overhead. Getting a nice stretch through the left side. Come back up to center and come through to stretch the right side. And back to center, bring the arms down. Start to float the arms up, warming the arms up. Begin to point the opposite toes. Now bring the arms out to the side. Again, one at a time. Requires a different shoulder motion. Now bring both arms up and do some shoulder rotations. One forward, one back. Continue the movement. Bring the arms down, roll the shoulders forward 3 times, and backwards 3 times. Right now, let's rock the body. Rocking the hips side to side. Move into our body circles. We've done 3 this way, we'll go back 3 the other way. Hands on the knees, and do some windshield wipers. Working on the hip mobility. Got to scoot back a little bit. Do our butterflies. Move into our Kundalini movements. Make OK signs. Bring the arms out. And bring them forward and push them back. Rounding the shoulders when you come forward. Squeezing the shoulder blades together when you go back. Let's hold here and squeeze the shoulder blades together. They should be down your back, squeezing together. This is excellent for posture. Let's move into our twists. Arms in the same position, twisting back and forth at your own pace. Moving quickly or slowly, whatever feels best in your body. Let's work in the breath. And relax. That is the warm-up. So you can sit back in your chair, take a few breaths, or if you'd rather, you can rest in a forward fold position. All right, so let's move into our sun salutations. Interlock the thumbs, stretch them out, up and back, then hinging from the hips, come down until the hands can reach the seat of the chair. Stay here or come down farther to forearms. Pressing through the hands, take a step back into downward dog. Step back up to the chair, come back into forward fold. And come back up to standing, reaching the arms out, up and back, and then bringing the hands together at the heart center. And that's round 1. We'll do 2 more rounds. Stretch the arms out, up and back. Come forward into our forward fold. Push through the palms. Step back into downward dog. Stand up, reaching the arms out, up and back. And then bring the hands together. Last round. Bring the arms out, up and back. Come forward into our forward fold. Press through the palms and take a step back with each foot into downward dog. Choosing a plank to work out the arms a little more, or pushing back to stretch the legs, or somewhere in between. Find your downward dog today. Then step back up. Come into that forward fold. And for the last time, bring our arms out, up, and back, looking up. Take a breath. And bring the hands together at heart center. And then release. Right leg forward, left leg back. Moving into warrior two. Find the position that works for you. You can choose a deeper lunge or a less deep lunge, however you're feeling today. Looking out over the fingertips, the hips open, back leg with the foot pointed at a 45-degree angle. Shift forward and bring one hand onto the seat and reach up into triangle. Leave the leg bent or straighten it out. Turn the head up and look towards the raised hand. Then bring the top arm down to the seat of the chair and bring the legs out into Prasarita. Stay here or come down to forearms for a deeper stretch. Press through the palms. Come back up to standing. Come straight back into warrior two again. Flow forward into triangle. Bring that up arm down. Bring the front leg back into downward dog, coming to either a plank-like position or a stretch to the hamstrings type position. Find the downward dog that works for you. It can even be somewhere in between. And step back up into Prasarita, staying here or coming down to forearms. Pressing back up through the palms, come back up to standing. This time we're going to start with warrior one. Take a step back. So we're in a lunge position with both of our feet pointing forward with our hips going forward instead of open like with warrior two. So warrior one, arms come up like this. Shoulders are going down, lengthen through the spine. Shift the weight to the front leg and take hold of the chair with one arm, two arms, even this position. Bring the leg up and the arms straight forward, whichever one feels best to you today. This is our warrior three. Now step back and come into warrior two. And the rest of this will seem very familiar. Come into triangle. Bring the arm down into downward dog. This time doing three-legged dog, back and forth, playing with balance and finding what feels good. And step back up into Prasarita. Push back up to standing. And now we will do that all on the other side. Begin by finding Warrior Two. Take as long as you need to get into the form you're looking for today. Bring the front arm down to the seat of the chair, into triangle. Bring the top arm down, come into downward dog. Find your downward dog on this side, wherever that may be. Step up into Prasarita. And push back up to standing. Back to Warrior Two. Coming through to triangle. Back into downward dog. Step back up for Prasarita. And come back through to standing. This time, stepping in to Warrior One. Bring the arms up, hips squared, pointing forward. Lengthen the spine. Then shift the weight to the front leg, coming into Warrior Three. Use whatever you need to get there. I'm showing different variations of arms. Step back into Warrior Two, moving from a closed hip stance to an open hip stance. Come forward into triangle. Bring the top arm down. Step into downward dog. This time we're doing three-legged dog. And downward dog. One final great stretch. And step forward into Prasarita. Back up to standing. And we'll get ready to do our leg strengthening exercises. I'll move my chair so you can see me better. But you can just come to stand behind yours. Start by placing the hands on the back of the chair, and we're going to do some calf raises. All right, this time on your tippy toes, hold for a full breath. And come down. Now we'll continue with some calf raises, this time raising one arm up at a time. Switching back and forth. Feeling the burn in the legs, hopefully. Now, if you're up for it, we can raise both hands at the same time. If not, continue doing one arm at a time. It's a good test of balance here. Let's do one final raise and down. ready for a chair pose. I'm going to move my chair a little bit so I can stay on my yoga mat the whole time. Come into chair by bending the knees, bringing the arms up in alignment with the ears, and then leaning forward slightly. This is a good chair pose. I'll show you what it looks like from the front. And turn back to my chair. And then straighten the legs, bring the hands to the back of the chair. You will probably find yourself needing to change your feet positions from time to time and come into downward dog, keeping the shoulders strong. You don't want to sag your body through the shoulders and injure them. So keep them strong, keep your arms in line with your ears or your head slightly above, like I'm doing. All right, we'll move through the rest of them quicker. Come back into chair. Take a breath. And downward dog. Back to chair. And downward dog. We're going to do 2 more times. This time, if you have a block, place it between the thighs and you'll have a slightly different experience. Chair. You'll find more muscles are activated this way. And downward dog. One more time. Chair. Breathe. And final downward dog. Be mindful of the shoulders. And come back up to standing. Replace the block. Move the chair back. Move the blocks to the center for our seated pigeon. Start with the right leg, crossing into this figure 4 shape. Find a good sturdy seat and lean forward over the bent leg. And breathe. The next breath, see if you can get just a little bit deeper into the stretch. Come back to seated, uncross the leg, and place the right leg forward. It might take a second to find the correct spot on your chair to bend forward over the leg. This is forward fold, Janu Sirsasana. And come back up and switch legs. Do our seated pigeon. Find your posture and then lean over the bent leg. To adjust my posture slightly, that's totally fine. Find your spot that feels good. Yoga should not be painful outside of sometimes your muscles burning from a good workout. If you're feeling pain, just back off a little bit. You want to stop where it feels good. Don't push into pain. across the leg and bring it down for forward fold, Janu Sirsasana. And come back up. I'm going to replace my blocks for our twist. For 3 breaths. Come back to center and then through to the other side. 3 breaths here. And come back to center. Let's take 3 centering breaths before we end our practice. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Thank you for joining me today.